So as my bio said, I love robots. It's almost to the point of obsession with me. And I think that love stems from my ability to be a part of that First Tech Challenge team and have the hands-on experience of building and competing with robots. I adore the engineering design process and hope to study it in the future. Enough about me. When you think of robots that you've seen in your life, you probably think of R2-D2, C-3PO, HAL 9000, Robocop, and of course Arnold Schwarzenegger. But there's one thing that these robots all have in common. They're all fictional. Now, what if I told you that we are closer to harnessing powers of robots like these than we have ever before? Alright, so with all these talks about robots, I want to define what a robot is. Now, it's a physical thing at least, and engineers can agree on that. But if you ask 3 different roboticists what a robot is, you'll probably get 3 different answers. My definition of a robot is a physically embodied, artificially intelligent agent that can take actions to have an effect on the real world. That begs the question, how intelligent does a robot have to be a robot? It's simple enough to program a machine to respond to one environmental input with one output. But as machine learning improves, robots are beginning to respond to environmental inputs that they weren't originally programmed to respond to. And that's the type of intelligence that will drive us around, keep the elderly company, and help us with our daily lives. Now, the origins of modern robotics stems from the 1960s, whenever engineers were beginning to automate the design and manufacturing process. And from there, robotics has gone on to revolutionize many aspects of our lives, such as healthcare, manufacturing, processing, travel, and national defense. And sadly, I do not have any cool robots to show you in person, but what I do have are examples. Now, if you've been around the city recently, you have probably seen Uber testing out their driverless cars, and if you do not know, there is an Uber branch located in Pittsburgh, and because of my experience on that FTC team, I was able to visit the headquarters and see what they were all about. The implications of driverless cars are far-reaching and futuristic. First, driverless cars will work to eliminate the hundreds and thousands of vehicle-related deaths in the United States. Secondly, driverless cars will work to eliminate congestion in cities. Driverless cars can travel inches between each other without any needless dabbles with the brake pedal or sudden frustration that comes in with random traffic jams when you're trying to enter or exit the city. Thirdly, driverless cars give you back your time. As fun as driving may be, it does take up a lot of time and energy, and having driverless cars will give you that time back. Imagine sleeping on that 10-hour car ride to the beach like you would on a plane. Now, if you've been on the internet in the past year or so, you've probably seen in your YouTube recommendations or Instagram feed a backflipping, parkouring robot made by Boston Dynamics. This robot's name is Atlas, and Atlas is working to automate the search and rescue process. Atlas is a bipedal, humanoid robot that uses a wide variety of sensors to navigate many different environments. Atlas has enough intelligence to react to pushes, slips, falls, and any other changes of being. Boston Dynamics is working to improve its capabilities to save people from a burning building, or a flood, or under some rubble. In this case, humans and robots working together will greatly increase the success rate of search and rescue missions while also dramatically decreasing the risk to human life. There are more companies in Pittsburgh that are helping to revolutionize the healthcare scene with robotics. A company located in Robinson called Apon Robotics has developed a completely autonomous robotic delivery system that can work in hospitals delivering medicine, supplies, whatever, 24/7 without rest. HURL, or Human Engineering Research Labs, are working to improve the lives of physically and mentally handicapped people. They have developed things from robotic arms attached to wheelchairs to fully automated kitchen assistants. Now, the field that interests me the most is robotic prosthetics. Scientists have already created robotic hands that can react to muscle movements in the forearm, but the field that I'm most interested in is connecting man to machine. I want to work in a field where I can connect prosthetics that react to electrical signals sent out by the brain. Robotic prosthetics can have a profound effect on physically handicapped people or amputees because they can gain back something they've lost or gain something that they've never had. It opens up an equality of opportunity that has never before been seen in humanity. Now let's talk about some robots that you yourself have probably interacted with. You've probably seen on ads for TV autonomous vacuuming robots, or you've seen at your local pool autonomous pool cleaning robots. But why does it have to stop there? What about autonomous snow plowing robots, or autonomous lawn mowing robots? The possibilities for house help robots are essentially endless. And the benefit that these robots bring to you is, again, like driverless cars, it brings back your time. Time to pursue a passion, time to catch up on sleep, catch up on homework. Heck, if you have the time, you can do the work yourself. And time in this day of age is an invaluable resource that I've noticed everyone seems to be lacking. After that, I've found that there are three very solid counterarguments to the advancements to robotics today. And that's cost, jobs, and human nature. To address cost, I want you all to think back to the origins of cars. They were decent machines, but they cost an average of $60,000 in today's money. Now, until Henry Ford came along and saved the day with his assembly line in the Model T, the same type of thinking can be applied to robotics. I say that anything society altering has to start out expensive until more people buy on and innovate, and eventually the cost will be driven down. If you see now, cars are one of the most versatile and price variable things on the market. As for jobs, a great high school AP economics teacher said that every invention since the wheel has caused a fear of job loss. However, if you take a look at history, it's quite the opposite. With new technology comes more jobs. Let's go back to the example of automating assembly lines. People were worried that they would lose their jobs and not be able to provide for their family. However, instead what happened is the people working in the factories switched their skills from assembling whatever they're assembling to installing, operating, and maintaining the new technology within the factory. And I believe the same will happen with robotics. A shift in society requires a shift in skills. To address human nature, I want you to all think about WALL-E. I'm sure you've all seen it, but if you haven't, the humans depicted show the negative side to an over-reliance on robotics in a technological society. And while that's true, I want to say that we are the ones who are making decisions now. We have the power to decide how we handle robotics in society. We have the power to understand this new wave of technology and not become overwhelmed by its development. The future of robotics is now, and I want all of us to readily accept it and understand to lead society into a new direction. Thank you.